Hey y'all, I'm back. Just been busy with finishing college and well, life stuff. But hey, I did it. I finished college. Who would have thought I'd actually go back and get that piece of paper? But I'm glad I did. I'm here now, ready to jump back in and share more art insights and have conversations. But hey, remember that video I uploaded about being a two-time art school dropout? Yeah, I privated that video real quick, and let's be honest, the mic quality was trash and the whole thing was just it wasn't that good. But hey, we grow, that's how you know that you're growing. And while my setup isn't perfect now, it's a step up from what I had last time. I'm really excited to be back, and my goal is to just stay consistent here on YouTube, which, let's face it, is easier said than done, but I'm gonna try. I've got that dog in me, I think. Maybe not, but whatever. I'll try, I'm doing it anyway. Oh, and I was sick for a bit, which didn't help. Big shout out to my immune system for slowing me down, but hey, we've got some good news. Good news is that Huion reached out to me to try out their latest drawing tablet, which I'm working on, by the way. So stay tuned for that. It's been amazing so far. I even used it to create some arcade fan art, which you can check out on my YouTube. No, not YouTube. Which you can check out on my Instagram if you're curious. Alright, enough yapping, let's get into the video. Starting something new is scary, like really scary. And I'm not just talking about art, it's a universal thing, like questions like what to start, when to start, or even what starting actually means can feel so overwhelming. I get it, I've been there too, and I still do. I get that feeling quite sometimes. Honestly, I still don't always know where to start, and yeah, it sucks. It's frustrating to have the energy, the tools, the ideas, but I still feel stuck. Even planning this video took way longer than I'd like to admit. Trying to organize the chaos in my head while still thinking about video formats and everything else, and it's a lot to think. And I'm an overthinker. And let me tell you, it has caused me all kinds of complications. You already know how it goes when you overthink a problem. The overthinking itself becomes the problem or part of the problem, and the OP problem just shrinks into something small. It's so irrelevant at this point. Meanwhile, the overthinking just keeps on growing, taking on a life of its own until it's this massive thing that's way bigger than it ever needed to be. It's just this thing right here. It's like standing in front of a puddle, but somehow you've convinced yourself it's an ocean, and your socks are wet, and it's cold, and it's... Anyways, for me, being an overthinker has seriously affected my ability to start anything new. I don't know if you can relate, but whenever I start a project, like a new painting, I get completely overwhelmed by this flood of ideas just rushing into my brain all at once. It's like a traffic jam, and I have no clue which line to focus on. And narrowing those ideas down, that's where it all starts to fall apart. Everything just goes south. I'll start overthinking how to organize them, how to turn this chaotic mess into a list of things that actually feel doable. That just makes me spiral even more, and suddenly I'm stuck in this loop of indecision. I haven't even started yet. I'm not doing anything yet at this point. It's a messy cycle, and yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to break out of it. It's definitely something I'm working on, one step at a time. Starting is tough, honestly. I think that's something that we all struggle with at some point. The fear of making the wrong choice, the paralysis from having too many options, just not knowing where to even begin. It's overwhelming. I get it. It's the kind of thing that makes you sit back and think, what if I mess this up? You're paralyzed before you even picked up pencil or your brush. But here's the thing, I know I just need to take that first step. It doesn't matter how small it is. As soon as I start doing something, the momentum picks up. I'll find my rhythm, I'll build up speed. That's what we all want, right? But the gap between knowing and actually doing it, that's where it gets very tricky. In my mind, it's easy to visualize the process, researching the topic, pulling out references, stacking them all together, organizing everything until it's clean and thorough, and then you go, you get to grind it, you're locked in, and you're like, hell yeah, I'm ready to go, that's what I picture. But then, the gap between this clean vision and the reality of actually sitting down and doing it, it's wide. It's like looking at a roadmap to a destination that feels impossible to reach. So for me, the key has just been taking that first step, no matter how small the act of starting, even if it's a little messy, even if it's full of hiccups. It has this power to break that cycle of overthinking and get things moving. It's about getting into the flow and trusting that every small step adds up to something bigger. That's the core of it all, right? Like, just get things moving and eventually it's going to come together. It's easy to look at the big picture and feel overwhelmed. It's hard to see how the dots will connect when you're not in that zone yet. But trust me, eventually you'll get there. You just need that push to get started. Sometimes that push comes from a little moment of clarity. Even if you don't know exactly where you're going. You know you want to get to point X, you just have no idea how to get there yet. So whatever you can do at this moment, even something as simple as organizing your desk, that's your starting point. A clean space makes a world of difference when you're in that thinking stage. For me, I keep my desk pretty minimal, just my laptop, iPad, 3 art books off to the side, and 3 sketchbooks. That's it, I don't need much else. I love the simplicity of it. A clean desk helps me stay focused. It helps me get into that flow where I can actually think and create. Now I know some artists have everything laid out on their desk. Paints, brushes, art accessories, stationaries, they're all put together. Very organized. And you know what? That's amazing. I love looking at other art desks, It's inspiring to see their setups and it makes me go like, yeah, we're in this together. Let's go. We got this, We're doing our thing, we're working, this is our space, this is where we thrive. But for me, I've grown to loving the simplicity my desk offers. There's something freeing about having a large empty space to just create. The setup helps me feel more focused and less distracted. So organizing your desk, that's one small thing you can do to get things in motion. It's easy, anyone can do it, and it's fun. You know what? Well, at least for me, I find it enjoyable cleaning my own workspace. Suddenly, you're no longer stuck in that messy desk stage. You've cleared the clutter and you're setting yourself up for something new. You've made the decision to create, even if you're not sure exactly what you want to create. That's the first step. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. Once you've organized your desk and set up your space, it's time to relax. Yeah, you heard me. I know, it sounds a little counterintuitive. Wait, did I just clean up all of this stuff to just sit back and chill? But hear me out. This is actually part of the process. That clean desk, it's not just about cleaning up your physical space, it's about clearing your mind. Because here's the thing, when you sit down and force yourself to come up with ideas, most of the time you end up stressing yourself out. You overthink, you sit there stuck thinking about what to draw, nothing comes to you. And then you're left frustrated because you've spent hours stressing over ideas and not made a single mark on the page. This is why the best ideas often come to you when you're doing something totally unrelated to art. Like when you're in the shower, going for a walk, or just zoning out while doing something. Your brain just works differently when you're not stressing over making art. The less you force yourself, the more ideas seem to flow. It's a simple concept. Less stress equals more creativity. The more relaxed you are, the better your ideas will be. The more your mind can wander, the more you'll find that creative spark. So take a break, don't force it. Let your mind wander. Once you're in that relaxed, clear space, it's time to do the thing. This is where you grab that pencil, pen, or brush and start making marks. It doesn't matter what you draw. Don't overthink it. Let your hand guide you, not your brain. Just draw. Get loose. Forget about perfection. Forget about everything except the act of drawing. This is how you break down the wall of overthinking. You draw. The more you draw, the more you'll feel that creative momentum start to build. You're feeding that spark. And once the ball starts rolling, it just snowballs, that's it. You'll find yourself sketching thumbnails, brainstorming ideas, saving references, listening to music, and suddenly you're in that zone. The flow is flowing. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's exactly where we want to be. We want to get into that creative flow where everything feels like it's falling into place, where the ideas come easily, where the sketches start to wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Sketches start to sketch. You know what I mean. So yeah, just start small. Set things in motion, even if you don't have the entire plan mapped out. Acceptance. Accept what comes your way. Accept that everything in art is about trying. Trying to find out what works for you and what doesn't. Trying to discover your voice, your rhythm, your way. Nothing is set in stone yet. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You're still figuring things out. And you will always be. Accept the flaws, accept the failures, accept the good, the bad, and everything in between. Learn to love it. Love the process. Because that's what art is truly about. Falling in love with the act of creating. This mindset separates those who do it for love from those who don't. Over time, the ones who can't love the process will drift away, caught up in other things. But if you can embrace the journey, the highs and the lows, all of that, you'll find yourself here for the long run. So learn to accept, learn to love. That's what art is all about. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate your time and I hope you found it helpful in some way. I'm excited to finally be getting more content out on YouTube. So stay tuned for more. I'll see you again in the next one. Peace.